Well, it all starts right there with the Rikon 60-2500. And you can see I've got it up on a stand to get it close to the ceiling. I did make a full extension drawer for that has all of my fittings that were no longer really needed because they were with the old 4-inch system that I had. So anyway, from there it goes to the 8-inch pipe. And what I wound up doing to make the 8-inch flex hose work to the 8-inch PVC, I went and got an HVAC fitting, and that fit in there perfectly. I siliconed it in real well, and then that flex hose fit right on top of it. And that is affixed into a small piece of 8-inch pipe. The 8-inch pipe goes into the elbow, so I have a double 45. It cuts across. At that point, I convert over to 6-inch. I had considered continuing on with 8, but nonetheless, it's where we are. So we have the 8 to 6, then a 6-inch elbow, and then this is where really things start to get fun. So I Y off of that and go to the far side of the shop and down, and this is to my miter station. What I've done here is I have added a metal blast gate. Eventually I may replace that, but for now there it is. And then that comes down to 4 inches, and I use the 6 to 4 reducer. And then that comes down to another Y, which this leads over to a 2.5-inch hose to my drill press. And it continues on 4-inch underneath my workbench to this big gulp in the back. Whenever this is open for the drill press, the 4-inch will always be open. Otherwise, it doesn't have enough draw to be able to pull that, enough of the suction to be able to pull it. So velocity makes sense. Anyway, so back over here to the business end. This continues on and drops down to another Y, 6-inch. And from here, and if you'll note, I do have this metal strapping holding all of the pipe to the ceiling. And I've even got some affixed to the pipe and to the ceiling to give it a little extra structure so it doesn't move. So it Ys off at 6 here, and then I have 2 double blast gates. This is a 6 to 4 blast gate, double 4 blast gate from Clearview, and you can see that opens up to 2 different sections. Same thing here, opens up to 2 different sections. Now how I have this oriented, I kept my original manifold, which runs between my workbench, outfeed, and table saw, as you can see there. And so on this side, I have access to a downdraft table that I'll bring up on the workbench from time to time. This leg goes down and over to the router table. This leg goes down and over to the table saw. This leg comes down and affixes into the joiner. So that works out well for that section, and that accommodates everything I really need right there. With a little bit of extra there I could use for other things if I needed to. But back up to the main channel, coming over, it comes over to another leg where you'll see a custom made blast gate. Now how I made this, I made this side to be able to fit a bell, and the bell is mounted to the wooden blast gate so that it then would connect into the pipe with minimal issues. From there you can see kind of what's going on there. If I pull the green string, green means go, so the airflow is on when the dust collector is running. And from there, I got full run down to my CNC. Now, if I want to stop that airflow, I pull the red. Red means stop. So now airflow has been stopped to the CNC. On this side of that blast gate, I mounted a fitting so that a 6-inch fitting would go there. So I mounted a 6-inch piece of pipe to this side. So a bail on that side, 6-inch pipe on this side, and that made it very easy for me to use a 6 to 4 reducer with 2 45 elbows. Comes down to a little swivel ball, and I used the way I mounted that. I used it's a 4x4 rubber boot. And inside of that rubber boot is a splice. And so being able to use that splice to keep that solid, that then enabled me to mount to this, also mount to the swivel. That comes down, and I kept my quick fitting here for ease of cleanup at the CNC. So that works out the leg of the CNC. From there, it carries on to the farthest end of the shop between the two double doors. And as you can see, that comes down. I currently have my broom in the way. And another one of these Clearview 6 to double 4 blast gates. That works out really well. Those things do surprisingly well for the application. So I'm real impressed with how they perform. But essentially, that ends my leg. Those two, one goes to the bandsaw, the other goes to the planer, and I'm not 100% sure it's going to stay that way, but for now, that's where it is. So there is the whole journey with all of the 6-inch sewer and drain and 6-inch sewer and drain fittings, with a variety of different things in there to help join it all up. And as you can see, I have taped all of the joints with a foil tape. I found that I like the foil tape better than a duct tape. It tends to mold better, shape better, and do a better job in general of holding those fittings on. So there we go. Everything leads back to the 60-2500 from Rikon. I love it, and we'll keep rolling on.